So here we are, boys. Another episode of Tiki Taka Corner. I'm here with the legend Ayush.
Yeah, and Liverpool are the Premier League champions, bro. I don't know what to say. I'm a United fan. I can't even complain at this point because I'm a United fan. So what am I complaining for?
Hey, it was a great season, dominant finish. Still few games with the Premier League left to go. What do you think was the best thing happening to Liverpool?
I think Liverpool did what they could. They knew very long ago that they were going to win the Premier League. They could win the Premier League. So they capitalized. They went out in one competition and the other, but they always knew that Premier League was the one where they would win this year. And I think they have been known all season as slot machine.
Yeah.
Arnie's slot machine. And they did it. Like, they had a slot, they put in the money, they won. Then Jurgen Klopp left a team in hands of a manager who no one knew about much, and he's coming in and wins the Premier League in his first season.
Great season. I don't want to say it was a fluke, but considering what was going on in the Premier League, we saw a few disappointing performances by City. Arsenal had a pretty decent season. I think it was a clear road to.
I think more than we can't take anything away from Liverpool, because I think maybe the total points tally is still not as good as it should be. What we have seen with City in the past when they have won the league doesn't matter though, but we still won the league. So even if you won it with 50 points, who cares? You won the league. But the other teams, they haven't been so good. Man City, as soon as they lost Rodri, their season felt like it can never come back. I think they still played very good football towards the end of the season again. Pep was able to control the team. But you know that middle phase where they were losing and they couldn't get a break. I think that was the end. And Pep knew that this was the end for them this season. Then they lost Haaland towards the end of the season. But still, bro, after all that, Man City are in the FA Cup final. So they still have something to win. They can save their season by winning one trophy.
Klopp left Liverpool's in pretty good hands. Very well built and balanced team. I don't want to take anything away from Arne Slot. He's a pretty excellent manager. But still, I would say Liverpool had pretty good reinforcements, pretty good depth squad, which led them to the victory.
I think the biggest thing with Liverpool this season was all season we were hearing about Trent leaving, Van Dijk leaving, Salah leaving. Now Van Dijk and Salah are most likely staying. Salah, I think, already has signed the contract. Trent is still leaving. We'll come to that. But managing a team with three big faces and all of them leaving at the end of the season and still winning the Premier League, with your main player still winning the Golden Boot with 28 goals. You have a rock-solid defense. I don't know if there's much we can talk about Liverpool players. I think always Salah and Van Dijk knew they were going to stay.
Yes.
They were told by the manager that I'm going to do everything in my power to make you guys stay. So we never saw that fallout, which probably City fans were expecting at a point.
I think Liverpool knew what their players were worth in between of the season, like Salah ripping through defense lines, Van Dijk being pretty a solid wall. They knew that in order to continue this success, they needed to lock in with players like these. But going back to Trent, I think he's on his way out, but he should be a little mindful with where he's going, who he's going to be playing for, knowing Carlo Ancelotti could be on his way out, be sacked. Real Madrid didn't play that well. What do you think?
I think he's like a little bit like in a messy situation right now, because what felt all season like great to Trent is probably moved to Madrid. At the end of the season, everything is good, which is still good, because I think Madrid don't have that one real good like world-class right back right now. Carvajal is awesome, but he can't run all season. Then we have Valverde playing out of position. We have Vasquez, who I think at this point is almost a right back, but he's still not Trent. Madrid still need those crosses in, to unlock the potential of Mbappe, to really have him like tear down and like score many goals. You need Trent to put in those crosses. But with, as you said, Ancelotti leaving, Madrid not having a great season so far, they're out in two big competitions already. I don't know, man, but I think Liverpool don't have the money anymore for Trent, because this already had the other two stay.
Yeah, plus I believe they're building a new stadium as well, renovating Anfield. I think, but Liverpool really need to rebuild and have their depth squad larger.
I think before we talk about who Liverpool needs, because at this point, if you're Premier League champions, you don't need much. They are a great team, and two players in midfield who have been crazy all season. More than anyone, I would say, in that position is Alexis McAllister and then Dominic Szoboszlai. When they came into the team, I was like, yeah, they're great players, but the way they fit in so quick, the way they understand the system. When the one guy is not available, the other one steps in, and they're always the one putting in assists, firing in those screamers, and like playing those balls and making it easy for their strikers and their wingers. I think that is the one big thing that they have come up with this season.
Yeah, I agree. Not to mention, Liverpool did have a series of injuries. We saw some players being injured, stay out of the season, like Jota, Gravenberg. Still, pretty good season for
You
Liverpool.
know that season when they won the league last time, they had Divock Origi, and he used to come in after every game when he was needed, and in the last moment he would score a goal. And I would talk about Darwin Núñez, who's been on the worst of all this, despite winning a Premier League. In a few games when they needed him, he came in clutch. He played well. But that's not good enough. So I think Liverpool would want to sell him and get a better striker if they want to retain this title.
I think they are heavily considering selling Nunez to, Saudi. I feel bad for him, even though with winning, but still there were some key moments where he missed penalties. Even Arne Slot really was vocal about how badly he was performing.
Yeah.
So I think that could be a danger zone for that player unwillingly.
And with the big strikers available right now, like Gyökeres, or you have Osimhen, you have Lautaro Martinez, all these people would obviously want to come to Liverpool. It's just that how much money would Liverpool want to spend on a striker to get them in?
I agree, and I would see Liverpool's next mission getting a striker, which is very important with some players going off the record.
And especially a right back if Trent goes. But I would like to discuss this final point with Arsenal, is that Arsenal are now still in the Champions League. So what would you consider a better finish? Arsenal winning the Champions League and going second in the Premier League, or Liverpool just winning the Premier League?
I think anything at this point should be what they shouldn't be negotiating much for a loss over here. They have nothing to offer this season, but I think having the Champions League would be a big boost to Arsenal's morale.
Especially the teams that they have beat and they have to still beat. If they beat in the semi-finals and then they go beat semi-finals PSG and then they have Barcelona or Inter in the final, if they can go through that, they already went through Real Madrid. I don't think that is something that can be forgot. I don't think that will be something that can be compared to winning a Premier League. But many people say that winning a Premier League is the most difficult thing to do, because you have to have a great 38 game season.
Yeah, I would say not this season, as we previously discussed, like City flopping, Arsenal had not having a good run, but Arsenal in the Champions League cutting through the likes of Madrid, and what's coming soon is much more of a glorious finish.
I think what I would expect from next season in the Premier League is more competition at the top. I know teams had issues this season, but it should never be this easy that a Premier League is sorted out 4 games in advance. It always feels like it should have gone to at least like the final 3 games and we don't know who's going to win. It's like 3 or 4 point difference and anyone can win and lose. But we still have some great competition. In England, if we talk about the top 5 places for the Champions League, Aston Villa can have the worst season or still like just have a good season and still retain their Champions League role. Relegation looks exciting. Nothing to say about Tottenham and United. They're dead. We've made a video on Europa League that you can watch. But I think next season we expect better off the top.
Yeah, I think next season we should watch out Aston Villa. I think Nottingham also had a pretty good season.
Crazy. I think what we should do is, we are new here and we want you people to support us, to like the video and to give your comments. Don't judge us for lack of knowledge, because we have a lot of knowledge. We are just starting out. And what I would say is, once the season is over, we'll come back, we'll look at Nottingham, we'll look at Villa, we'll look at these teams, make videos on their season, like what went right and wrong. But more than that, there's still much to look forward to. So who's gonna finish in the Champions League and who's gonna get relegated, I think we'll be back. But for now, I would say congratulations to Liverpool. I'm a Man United fan, so I can't do anything about it. I will be sad. I don't want it to happen. I would rather had Arsenal win it. But yeah, Liverpool are champions of the Premier League.
Yeah, congrats to Liverpool, and you will never walk alone.